Now, the next part about this thing, since our reality are holograms, and since consciousness is the creator or experience of all of this stuff, there cannot be a beginning or a end. Now, listen, your mind is not going to be able to grasp this completely, because the mind is trying to figure out, well, man, what do you mean my consciousness? What do you mean there's no beginning? I was born, right? And I lived, right? And all this stuff. No. You don't get it, my friend. That's your logical mind coming up with these premises. It doesn't work that way. We invented linearity. It doesn't work that way. Everything is now. Now, since these particles have no solidity and they're a hologram and everything is infinite, so is our imagination. What you think creates the world. Now, and since consciousness is the creator of all this stuff, it doesn't have a beginning and end. It's going to continuously circulate and circulate and circulate. Now let's go back to the particles so that we can make sense about these parallel realities, or these realities where you live, and how you can tap into and manifest your, what we call your future self, or your best version. All right. So since these particles, they have no solidity, right? We now know that in physics, there's no solidity. Also, unlike the universe and the multiverse, which is infinite, the particles are not. These particles are finite. You have infinite and you have finite. Finite, infinite. Infinity just finite just means it's a stop. So particles are finite. That means they must repeat in an infinite multiverse. If the universe was an infinite, particles cannot repeat. Hence, we know it's a multiverse. We know we live on bubbles. We know it's consciousness, the God force, is controlling all of this. So therefore, there have to be copies of you and me with our own independent consciousness from a branch, from the field. Now listen carefully. Not only copies of you and me, my friends, infinite copies. There's an infinite amount of Mark. There's an infinite amount of Jessica, John, you. And these infinite versions of us, they live on what's called compactified dimensions. The universe is compactified, layers and layers and layers. So they're on top of us. Hence we call them parallel. They're parallel to us. And they call them the multiverse. And in these worlds, some of them have the same laws like you and me. Gravity works the same. Some of them don't. But hence, here's what the part you need to get. They are living separate lives and doing the same exact thing that you are doing, but in a different form. Like, for example, today, I'm talking to you in this car. There's an infinite version of me talking to you in this car. Instead of this red stripe on the car here, it's purple or it's yellow. Every little detail that you can possibly think about happens. Now, how about the decisions you make? If you decide today you're not going to go to your favorite coffee store, it splits off into a reality where you went to your favorite coffee store. This is all science and physics. That's right. It's an illusion, a hologram. But now you want to know, how can I use this to benefit this experience I'm having? I don't care about my infinite copies, because I know they're out there, but I want this copy I am to experience something. Because in this reality, man, I'm not getting it. I'm not doing it. Where's the rich version of myself? Where's the successful version? I know they're out there. Yes, they're actually out there living parallel lives to you. But the good news is, you can do a cheat code. You can go and you can get the information from your rich self and bring it into this reality. Because remember, every decision you make splits off. It's just a keep split. So, listen, this sounds boggling. And I know it does. But if it wasn't for physics and quantum mechanics, this stuff would never be entertained. But now we know it's actually coming true. And they're having evidence and research is showing that, wow, this is so trippy. But yes, right now, this is the mark in physics. Many top physicists, Nobel Peace Prize physicists, they agree in the multiverse, the infinite possibilities and versions of yourself. You know who says this? Even Neville Goddard said this before. He talked about parallel realities. All great teachers talk about this stuff, showing you the science of this stuff. Now let's get to the part where someone asked me, well, Mark, how can I tap into my future self? Well, here's the thing you need to do. There's two things for you to tap into your future self, because it's out there. So if you want to go to that person that's successful, that's wealthy, that's healthy, that's happy, that's healthy, first thing you do, you have to change the self-concept of you. So there's two things you do. Change the self and use your imagination. Those two things will leap you or what we call quantum leap, parallels jumping, whatever you want to call it, into your future self. The first thing you do, how do you change your self-concept? You have to write a new story about what you want to become. You see, right now in this reality, you're living a story which is programmed through your subconscious mind. And that story is giving you what you're getting right now. So if you don't like the story, you can change it right now because everything is happening. By the way, just to let you know that each and every millisecond, or what we call Planck scale second, you are jumping into parallel realities. Because your cells, remember, they're not solidity, they're transparent, and nothing is ever at rest. Everything is vibration. If everything is vibration, there's always multiple universes and also multiple dimensions. This is why you're continuously shifting into these realities, and it may look like a new reality, but it's just a shift into this reality, which transcends into a new reality. Don't worry, it doesn't have to make sense to you, but just some information just to keep your mind boggled and going. All right, so you change your self-story. So how do you change your self-story, man? You start to just talk about what you like, and then you use your imagination now. You start to see an image of you, what you want to become. Once you see that image, you are tapping into the multiverse or the future version of yourself. How do we know this to be true? Well, it's interesting because in 2021 or is 2022, a couple of physicists won a Nobel Prize for showing that the universe is non-local, quantum entanglement. It's basically said that distance is an illusion. Everything is entangled. So therefore, I am always entangled with my future self. Whatever reality they're experiencing, I'm entangled with them. How do I focus on what reality? By my attention. What my attention is, that's the reality I'm going to tap into. My consciousness, remember when I'm God, the universe, experiences myself with this. So I'm always plugged in. So what happens is, once I focus on that, I connect with that Mark that won the lottery, right? That's how I got the lottery. I connect with that Mark that's doing this, connecting Mark. You connect with that Jessica, that Tom, that Peter, that's a successful business, that's got your own business, that's doing your music, what they're doing your acting. You connect with that person. Now here's the interesting thing. The future Mark that's wealthy or whatever, right? He has no idea that I'm plugged in because it's an open loop. But what happens is, the reason why he has no idea is because in his world, his reality, he's living what he wants to live. I'm the one that has the idea because I want to get that. So what happens is, when I tap into that, I visualize that being me. And then what happens is the information, something I'm going to teach you about information, the information from that Mark gets transferred to my subconscious mind in this reality. Then the subconscious mind takes that information, however the key is for me to become successful. After it gets it, it turns it and sends it to my logical mind. That's where my logical mind now interprets and take action to do what it needs to do to manifest me in this reality.